for weapons blacksmith shop. Let me pull up the stream so that I can check it out. But there should be an exciting one. Looks like a really a nice build. And should be good to go. So for blacksmith, for 4 weapons blacksmith, starting with 2 figures in Wu and Nia. Let me just check Brooklyn for a second because I just want to see if I have some Brooklyn designer program stuff. I'm just waiting to hear back on one of them. Alright, let's get into this guy. Should be an exciting set. 1,259 pieces. Pretty nice looking build, and fully enclosed one. Some cool details in there. Pretty small looking sticker sheet. I'm assuming this is the same one. It looks like it's the same Woo as the character display, which makes sense and works. There he is. Looks pretty nice. There is the sticker sheet. And now Nia with her pretty close to sort of original show design. I guess maybe just with the face print a little bit updated. But looks like a nice minifigure as well. Some nice torso and leg printing on this one. Looks like it's probably going to start with the base of the build. That would of course make the most sense. And then actually I think will be that for a while. There's a decent amount of bags in this one, about 12 or so I think. So there is Nia. And there we go. That's the right page. Hello. How's it going? All right. The little bits of connection points so that this thing can open up and do what it needs to do. This one's kind of a cool, I guess other than this, there's the bigger Ninjago modulars when it comes to fully enclosed buildings. So it's kind of cool to have a fully oh my goodness, can't even think of words. Fully enclosed building. Yeah, it's I think it's going to be a pretty good one. I'm certainly excited to build it, and it yeah, it looks like a really well done set. I thought it looked really impressive when it got revealed quite a while ago now, I guess. But I think it should be a pretty good one. Overall, I'm really impressed with what they've done for Ninjago for the January wave sets, but more the legacy ones. I think they've done a much better job this time around than they did the first time. So it should be a pretty good one. I didn't really realize how many pieces this one was. I thought it was a little bit smaller than, or a few less than it actually is. It's 1,200 or something like that. I was thinking it was more like a 800 piece type of thing, but no, it's well, I guess being a fully enclosed building, it's gotta have quite a few parts to achieve that. But yeah, some dark brown, and then the reddish brown of the. I'm assuming some of the interior spaces. Some pretty nice looking minifigures in this set as well. It's sort of hard to beat the smaller legacy set of the wave though when it comes to minifigures, just for the price of that one. I think it had like 7 or 8 minifigures or something like that. But this one seems to have some nice ones as well, some really nice printing. Certainly some very, very colorful elements to get into the base. It is more for my architecture stuff than any sort of gaming stuff. Yeah, I think the only game I have on there is Minecraft. Yeah, mainly architecture, and the specs for those are pretty much, or for gaming laptops, are about the same as what I need to run architecture softwares. So yeah, but it's been a nice laptop for the few years that I've had it now. Yeah, it took me a little while to get used to the thing, and I probably can turn it off if I actually looked into how to do it. But at this point, I've gotten used to it that I barely really even notice it whenever I'm doing anything on it. I just use it so much that it's just, I don't even realize that it's actually happening until it's pointed out. Alright. There's some cool stickers in this set that I'm excited to apply. There's a couple I remember when I saw the reviews for the sets, or the early reveals, that were designed like the original Spinjitzu set playing cards that they had in each of those. So that's kind of a fun little detail. I don't think I have too many of those cards. I have quite a few of the Chima cards, but not too many of the Ninjago ones. I don't really think I got that many of the original Spinjitzu sets, a couple of them, but not all that many. Some nice snot building going on now, which will certainly be quite interesting. I think they've done a pretty good job with some really nicely detailed Ninjago sets the last few years, both their play sets as well as the display sets. And the amount of display sets they've done, they've certainly increased that, and I think they've done a really good job with it. I think it's a pretty solid theme at this point, even if it is kind of repetitive, but at the same time it feels like every theme that doesn't just last for like 3 years ends up getting quite repetitive after a while. Harry Potter with its Hogwarts sets every year, Star Wars with most of the same ships, and I guess Ninjago with all its mechs and dragon parts and elements. Alright. I'm happy I didn't throw this bag out before I got into it. Or else I would have lost myself this nice low sloped element. Some interesting little bits of rock work so far. I've been really impressed with a lot of the January sets this year. I think there's a lot of sets so far this year that I'm more impressed by than really anything from last year. And yeah. And then those images of Minas Tirith, I didn't think things like the Creel House and the DeLorean and the Lightning McQueen set could really get beaten this year, and then they go and have that thing coming out, and that looks quite impressive. So, alright, bag 2. No parts left in there. Some light masonry parts. I feel like I haven't really used that color of masonry all that often. I think that's probably my favorite of the Lord of the Rings sets. Like, it definitely has my favorite minifigure lineup, just because of getting Denethor and Faramir for the first time is really exciting. And then those soldiers look really nice. But then the build, I think they did a great job with it, and the interior space looks really nice. I love the little interior spaces that you can pop out of the walls. Yeah, really impressive looking Lego set, and I'm very excited to build it and probably buy it when it comes out to get the gift with purchase that I'm assuming they're gonna throw in with it, because they seem to really like to do that recently. But of course the last couple of items, so I'm assuming that one's got a gift with purchase. If it doesn't, I might not pick it up day one, but very excited to pick it up. It looks really nice, and I love the arches that they have in the interior spaces. I thought they did that really well. Yeah, I think it's the minifigures that I was really just so excited for when I saw those, to get some new characters. I think that's because as much as like Rivendell is great, I didn't really care all that much for the minifigures, because I didn't think they were that much of an improvement on the original ones, and I already had those ones, so wasn't really all that interested in that minifigure lineup, except for, I guess, the older Bilbo was kind of cool. I thought the Shire had a really nice minifigure lineup with Rosie. I was really excited for that one, and also the Frodo in that set I thought was really good. I like the orcs in Barad-dûr, but this one I think has my favorite minifigure lineup of any of the sets. But the build too, I'm very excited to see. Yeah, it's I think a pretty impressive set. I don't think there's going to be all that much that can top it this year. It looks like a fun one, and I guess the one thing with Rivendell is just how much more colorful it is than all the others. Because Barad-dûr is pretty much all black, a little bit of gray, and some different transparent oranges and reds. And you got the Shire all green, and then this one pretty much mostly white. So I guess that one it pops a little bit more with its colors, but I'm quite excited to build that when it comes out. I'm interested to see if there is one, what the GWP is going to be with it. Yeah, that's for sure. That one wouldn't want that nice of a set to get that damaged. I just thought of that with that. That's certainly a concern. Might as well just lock it up in a dark room or something like that to get it. Make sure it's safe and doesn't. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I do have my UCS. What is it? The Republic gunship is relatively close to a window, so I haven't looked at it in probably a year. So I'm assuming that one might have a little bit of yellowing on it, but I don't know if that is the case or not. Sort of. I think there's enough shade around it that it might not have the issue. I think I only have like one set that had that, and I think that was the Porg that came out, the buildable Porg, and I think I had that one right by a window, and the just belly of it, that's mainly entirely white, is pretty much yellow. But except for that, I don't have too much that's been yellowed. But yeah, that would certainly not be a great thing to happen to that Minas Tirith. Now, so the King Aragorn minifigure with the arm printing on R1 too is. I'm impressed with the couple of new molds that they threw in the set, and I don't know exactly what I was expecting with the set, but I think it definitely, my expectations for it were certainly, I think, exceeded. I'm excited to see more clearer stuff and actually build it and see what the process of building it is, because I'm sure it's going to be relatively repetitive. I'm also interested to see the price of it, because I think it was, I don't know, 600 or 650 is the rumored one, which feels kind of low for the 8,000 or 9,000 pieces that I think it was supposed to be. So it'd be interesting to see how much that actually increases before release. But, yeah. But I think I would like a smaller one next year if they're continuing with the yearly ones. I think I'd actually probably a couple year break from the really big sets after that one. I think I'd be good with some small stuff for a little while. I'm assuming one of them has to be retiring at the end of this year. It feels like having 3 huge Lord of the Rings sets out at the same time is is quite a bit, but I really haven't looked all that much of what the expected retirees are for this year, and considering that both of the big ones seem to be on back order pretty much since their release. Yeah. After Minas Tirith's release, I think I'd like some, not necessarily like $20 sets, I'd like that, but like just some, if they're gonna go with a smaller D2C, more at the scale of the Shire or something like that, I think is more what I'd like to see for a couple years after another really big one with Minas Tirith. But yeah, I'm surprised that they have done where they're gonna have 3 really big ones on shelves at the same time. I don't see why they would retire it too, with how well they seem to do. I don't mind it. I think they represented it pretty well. I think it's one that I want to pick up. It's not one sort of similar to the Belrog where I'm not gonna like go out of my way to go like pick it up day one, but I'll certainly get it before it retires. But I think they did a decent job with it, and the horn, like the longest horns of it, seem really high to me. It also seems very hollow. It also seems a bit too expensive for what it is, but I like it, and I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more of those helmets, especially if it's a precedent that they're going to be including figures with them. Like, I'd love more Lord of the Rings helmets with minifigures, and I'm happy to get another Sauron, especially since I've got the one from Barad-dûr in Barad-dûr and one of the rooms in it, so I can never actually see that minifigure, and it's a pretty impressive one, so I wouldn't mind having an extra one of that minifigure. Now, this is a kind of cool thing they've done here. This part of the window just snaps in there, and they've got the window built up. This is a very well built up set. The wall's pretty thick too. Two stud thick walls. I feel like they don't usually have walls that thick in most sets. Even modulars, I don't think usually have them that thick. But I've enjoyed the Lord of the Rings sets that they've made since bringing it back, and it seems like a lot of them have done well. So I'm assuming they're gonna keep on doing them, and yeah, it will be very interesting to see what they continue to do, because I don't see them doing another big 6,000, 7,000 piece set, or 5,000 or whatever Barad-dûr is, and have 4 of them on shelves at the same time. I would assume that the Shire retires relatively soon. I don't think that one is done as well as the others, but I've been surprised to look and see that Rivendell's on back order. Like, I feel like it's always on back order. No, I think a lot of stuff is on back order right now, and it's still, a lot of the D2Cs are still coming back in stock from Christmas, but that one seems like it's always selling pretty well. some more walls built up using a lot of window pieces. It's interesting. A lot of the walls here are built up mainly through window frames and door frames instead of built up with bricks, which interesting technique to achieve it. It certainly gets a nice smooth angle to the rest of it, and a nice texture to it as well. Dark brown window frames. I feel like I haven't really seen them in dark brown that often. The reddish brown ones I've seen a bunch of times, but the dark brown one seems useful. A nice color for sure. Oh, I guess this is the floor. It wasn't a wall. How everything's clicking into this set is quite impressive. I think a few themes could learn a thing or two from some of the from this set, and some of the techniques it's got when it comes to buildings. They've done a pretty nice job. I guess this is probably back to building a wall and another white masonry part. Those are sort of just scattered around the build. I like the landscaping around the set as well. We've done a pretty good job with that part of it. And a few more stickers, not too many, 8, yeah, oh no, 9. So not all that many, and some nice ones as well, some nice graphic detail on them. Alright, so I guess it splits in the middle of the building. I was sort of thinking it was splitting a different way, but I guess not. Certainly quite impressed so far, though, with how the structure is built and the overall look of the building. Few elements of these walls are done. And that window as well. And bag 4 will have the next minifigure of the set in Kai. And I think for the first time, really, they've actually done his blacksmith outfit correctly. We're pretty close to it. I think most of the previous ones have just used whatever existing blacksmith torso and legs there are, and thrown those together. But I think this one actually has a much more correct appearance to the minifigure, which is nice to see. I think overall they've done a much better job with this legacy wave of sets and actually designing minifigures that closely resemble the suits they're trying to recreate, unlike the last one, which sort of just made up most of its stuff for the legacy wave. I hope they continue this line of Ninjago sets, because if they keep doing it to the quality that they've done it so far, I think it should be pretty impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 figures, 5 sort of regular ones, and then the anniversary minifigure included, which I guess is a few less than the smaller display or the minifigure display set from the wave of legacy sets, but it's a decent lineup of figures, and I think pretty accurate minifigures as well to the show. Actually, I just finished. I finally got around to watching the most recent season of the show, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I wanted to build this one, and I've enjoyed Ninjago for its 15-year run. I sort of stopped with it for a few years, but then picked it up again probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, it's a pretty decent lineup of a number of minifigures. I think I guess most themes really probably wouldn't have that many for the set, and I feel like a lot of sets will, the scene that they're basing the set off, there's a lot of other figures that you could include, but this realistically is pretty much what belongs in the set, in the theme. I feel like this is a set where you get everything that you could want. You get a build that is, I feel like, about as perfect as it can get to its show counterpart or its source material counterpart, and then the minifigures pretty good, and all the characters that you could want in it as well. So I think it's a pretty solid one, and I think will be I think it's already been quite a popular one. It seemed like it was one of the most popular ones going off the shelf January 1st. So one reveal that was sort of interesting today, or I guess there was a few yesterday as well. The upscaled astronaut minifigure looks pretty nice. I like those sets. Had a fun time with them. I think they're a nice little subline, and then there's also the Winnie the Pooh, which I don't know, looks a little bit. The buildable or buildable characters certainly seem to be I don't know, they sometimes pretty good, sometimes a little bit questionable. Is it? It's a blue one, isn't it? What did I say something? What? I think it's blue, isn't it? The big one. Did I say red? I think it was blue. At least I remember it being blue last night. But there's also the couple of the minifigures from the May minifigure series, which looks like a pretty nice series of figures. I'm certainly excited for it, and seems like a nice one. And yeah, the bionicle torso and legs look like a cool one. I'm excited for the Shrek minifigure series. I think that should be a pretty fun one. Where it's gone, because there's certainly no parts in the bags, so I don't see this this 1x2 green plate that I need. I don't know where that one's gone. Unless I used it when I was not supposed to, but I don't think I did any of that, so I don't know where this 1x2 plate is. There's nothing here that looks wrong, so am I just missing a 1x2? Could be. Well, let me see how far I can go before I need to go find a 1x2 plate somewhere. I need to find where I put this ingot piece, because I feel like this should not be a... Oh, there we go. It solved the issue. It had to do with the ingot piece. So I did put it in the wrong place. good to go now. Bag 5. Let me see, I need to check Bricklink to see if I have any comments on a Bricklink Designer Program set that I submitted. I submitted 4 designs for this upcoming Series 10 that voting starts in a couple weeks or so. But I got 3 of them approved, and I am waiting to hear back on one of them and see if I need to make any changes. And I think I do. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to end this one after this bag and get to fixing that so that I can get them that project file before I can no longer submit that set as a Bricklink Designer Program set or idea. I'm quite pleased with the builds that I've got for Series 10, and yeah, happy that 3 of the 4 have gotten approved so far. So should be good to go for have those posted. When does the crowd or the voting phase of BDP Series 10? Not submission guidelines, no. It's current series. I'm already making enough mistakes in the build. I shouldn't be multitasking trying to figure out when it starts. February the 9th to the 20th. I'd go with Zane. That's probably my favorite one of any of them. I think, yeah, I like the light blue on that one. Usually I think Kai suits are some of my favorite ones, but that particular Zane I think is my favorite one of those 4. I really like the light blue on that one. So yeah. I also really like I think the coal one. I know I have it somewhere, but I think that's I quite like that one. The hints of almost like a pinky red type of color in there. Let me see. Looks like the cheapest one in Canada, there's only one of them, and it's $271. So, yeah, not the cheapest in minifigures, but a nice one. Those, I like those suits, but they're not my favorites. I think they're certainly nice, but I don't think they stand out to me as like some of the best that I've ever seen when it comes to the suits. I guess of like the gimmicky ones, the ones that have come in the Spinjitzu sets or the Air Jitsu sets or all those type of sets. The NRG ones are probably my favorite ones, but I don't think they're all right. I do kind of want to get that Zane one at one point, at some point, because I think the only ones I have are Kai and Cole. So, well, I guess saying only, it's half of them, but yeah. This is some cool detailing on the texturing on the floor pattern. That's pretty nice. They did a nice job in there, and I guess that just fits in there. Yeah, there weren't too many options for the Zane. And there was just one person that had a couple of them. I think I might have seen one at a convention not that long ago, and I don't think it was that much. I don't know, maybe like 150 or something like that. But compared to that 270 or whatever it was. Yeah, a nice looking figure. One set of suits that I do need to get, because I never did buy any of the sets from that wave, is the possession suits. Those are probably, those and the final battle suits are some of my favorite ones, so I need to get those at some point, because I think I've got a couple of them, but I'd like to get those ones. Those are a nice set of suits. There's never too many questions about Zane. Zane's great. Love Zane. One of my favorite characters of the show. Tree branches, some olive green. I've liked that they've mixed in the olive green. I feel like most sets don't really use the lime green when it comes to landscaping, so it's interesting to see it done here, as well as all the sort of sideways building that they've got you doing in this set. I think it's quite impressive. 14 plus. I was wondering what the age rating on this one was, because it certainly was not expecting it to be sort of the same as a lot of the other just regular playset Ninjago sets, with some of the techniques used. I'm very excited to see what type of sets my 4 designs will be up against when it comes to the Bricklink Designer Program stuff. I'm pretty pleased with them. I designed them pretty early on in the process, so I had enough time to sort of do a little bit more with some of the visual stuff, so hoping that it's enough. I'd started designing a few things for some of the previous series, but never really finished it. This was the first one I really did a decent amount of stuff for. Of the new wave of sets, I think build-wise, this one looks pretty impressive. I like Lloyd's Titan mech. I think that looks like a pretty nice one. I think that one's a bit disappointing, like minifigure-wise. And then the character display stand. I think they did. They've got some really good sets coming out. I'm not as much excited for like that X1 Charger or whatever it is coming out. That's never been a vehicle that I've necessarily been all that drawn to. And then I guess there's the big one, the Old Town one, which I think looks alright, but it's certainly not one of my favorite ones. But I think all the Legacy sets so far have been better than the original wave of legacy sets, but yeah, I thought the character display was very well done, and I certainly enjoyed that one. But But yeah, that one had some really nice minifigures, and I think build-wise, I'm really impressed with this one. Like, I think the build is just very, very elevated compared to a lot of other Ninjago builds. Now, I think I'm going to have to wrap up this thing to go and make my changes to this mission. For the Bricklink Designer Program before I can't make any changes anymore, even though I think I have till next Friday. Oh yeah, that's nice. You're giving it until next Friday to submit it, or resubmit it. But I think I should probably get to it before I forget to do anything for it. And especially if I need some more changes. But, yeah, I also really do want this particular one to be approved. I am very pleased with it. It's sort of special to me in a few ways, and I think it's a bit of a different design than all the other stuff. But yeah, so far, 5 bags into the build. You've got the full base, so a decently sized set. You can split it down the middle, pop the floor out, and three figures so far. Woo, which looks, let me get it over here. Yeah, exact same figure as the character display stand. The Kai, which really nice overalls there for the Blacksmith outfit. Nia, which looks quite nice, and yeah, some very nice figures, and an impressive build. I love the window here. I think they did such a good job with that, and just overall also the floor in this particular section with the window frames is pretty cool. I don't entirely understand what the function of the floor being able to pop up. Actually, I guess it's not. I just didn't click it down properly. There are studs down there. There we go. Never mind, it's not supposed to come out. I guess it can come out relatively easily, which because you definitely have the possibility to do so, because it's sort of open to below. You can actually do it with both sections. Interesting. That they've got you doing that. But really good build so far, and yeah, but I think I've got to wrap this one up now. But both these sets are very, very nice. I guess size-wise, the this one, of course, is going to have a ton more depth to it. But width and height-wise, they're about equal, which is certainly interesting. But very excited to add the next anniversary figure to this one. Need to pick up the young Garmadon, Wu, and first ninjutsu master before from that bigger set, because I don't think I'm gonna pick that one up. Let me see, what does it say on Bricklink on how much those figures are? Young Wu, that's not the hunted one. There we go. Nice. There's not too many of them. About $40. There's none, actually, so won't be getting that one yet. And how much? Oh, and because it's split up with Bricklink, you can't. Do any of them come with the base? I don't think so. Wonderful. What about Garmadon? Oh, that one's more. It makes sense. It's a very cool looking one. Nice. At this point, it's almost better to just buy the big set. And Mr. First Master. Okay, he's less. He's still like $40. So at that point, it's probably about $50, and then you got to get the bases. It's probably about like $200 just to get those figures. And how much is the set? Ninjago, there we go. The Old Town. 4. And there's a Harumi in the set, isn't there? Oh, you also get the young the Time Twins, as well as the Authority one. And Julian. That's a decent minifigure lineup. They certainly should have. I guess they certainly went all out in quite a few ways with this set, and I'm assuming they just sort of ran out of budget. And because I believe, how I understand it, is Legacy and Ninjago are sort of separate things. So they certainly should have been silver, and I hope that if they continue this wave, that they can introduce it next time around, because at that point they'd be introducing which would be a new piece, pretty much, with it being in silver, with the dual molding in it. So I hope to see that maybe the next time they do it. But yeah, I think I don't have as much of an issue with it with Cole. Like, I feel like his suit sort of looks alright with the gold. But Jay's definitely, with the silver arm and the silver plating on his chest, looks kind of weird with the gold. Yeah, good sets. Alright, I am going to end this thing now. But it's certainly been fun to put together, and a very nice looking set, and yeah, nice one. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream next week, probably doing the F1 movie Speed Champions car. But for now, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Bye.